Yeah, Gaddis Laxtons and Marina Abdullah or Godis and Primal Bell, one or the other, most likely filed a defamation complaint about my video from way back there when we didn't know where Bell was because she wasn't uploading content in real time. And it was a parody video. So it's been restricted in the Netherlands. So I'm going to file a response to that. When I get a chance to do that, I'll make a video showing this will be a good opportunity to get in their face some of the stuff that we've been trying to get in their face, and maybe a real person will actually look at it.
Okay, like acid for my Valentine's. Hey, wait a minute. So I was looking at this and I saw a different title actually than this one in this email when I had been looking around. And I thought, no, that's the one. And then I look down here though and I see the number 17 and then I'm like, wait a minute, there's a bunch of these. So I click on that, and look at this. There are more actually than 17 of these. And they'll go through you and show which ones they were so worried about. But in looking at this, I'm pretty sure this is that attorney in the Netherlands. And they wanted this stuff blocked in the Netherlands where the trial is happening. That's why they got an attorney from the Netherlands to try to shut Luna up first, of course, the victim. And, all along they've tried to shut Jake up. They've tried to shut anybody up that's done anything. Right now with the trial going on, they went after in one day, like literally all of my videos in that country. And he's not very bright, if so, because there's no law that this is breaking in the Netherlands, and that'll be easy to prove up. But Primal Bell could have saved Luna and her son. I believe that wholeheartedly, and that's not even parody at this point. Bell finds perverted vids on Rumble. That was done back when I saw his perverted videos were available on Rumble, and I had remembered 2 or 3 comments, but I saw more on that, and I thought, wow. And so the storyline would be like if Belle, if she were a normal woman and found videos like that, what you'd say or think. And but in reality now the situation is much sadder and more disgusting than I could have imagined. I think she's fine with that content. Especially in light of some text messages where somebody was calling her out on that about him. Her responses to that were interesting. So I have evidence even for that. But the liberties with parody, I don't know that she found those videos on Rumble. That was, of course, a made up storyline like we do in parody. But it was based on something quite real. And it actually paints her in a much better light than you could paint her in. You'd really be dumb to complain about that because if I painted her in the real light, wow, it'd be really worse. If you would be okay with, being on an app talking to Ilias about unaliving a little boy, knowing that that's what he's going to go over there. He's going to first go hurt Luna, and then 2 more attempts to unalive a little boy we know about. And you're down with all of that, most likely. That's what you're wanted for being down with, right, Marina? Then I think that you'd be okay with harming children in other ways, because the ultimate harm of a child is murder. So, get real. Let's look at this. Are y'all with the cult, professional fanboys? And you seem to have a problem with that. But it's all about how I view him and his content. There are people on YouTube like Jake and like others who have actual talent and they, build a career off of things they know how to do. And it really is their livelihood on YouTube, and that's admirable and great. But for somebody like yourself, who doesn't have any skills, I've never laughed once at anything you've said, and anything good you've done, you've taken from somebody else. And you use certain manipulative skills that I've seen my whole life. I've seen people in religion do it, politics, entertainment, whatever. And that's how you maintain a fan base and a very sick one, because everybody else who might see something interesting that usually you've borrowed from somebody else and follow you for a while, they have a leaving point where they're like, whoa, no, none of this for me, buddy. And so anybody left are cult heads. And I was getting some really sick messages from some of your sicko cult heads at the time. So nothing wrong with that video. Writing Jazz for my greasy psychopathic soulmate. Yes, this was back when Jazz had made a video, and it was only weeks earlier, and some people were talking up Jazz because she was making content, in my opinion, to absolve herself of guilt with regard to certain things and kind of cast aspersions on the character of the victim in a cutesy way. She was much more clever at doing this than you guys are. And so I wanted to say something about it because she clearly still had a head full of goat boys. She's dancing half naked for him on the internet. And this was a joke about Belle wanting to fight her, calling him a greasy psychopath. Once again, with satire, there are liberties. If he's called himself one, he said that he's been called one. And he said that psychopaths are the true heroes. And I view him as such. So that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Nothing wrong with that video. you certainly called Luna all kinds of things that she's not been diagnosed as, but you said it as if they were medical diagnoses. So quite different. My defamation complaint against you is quite different than yours against me. Goddess throws Primal Bell, Night Stalker Party. This was back when Goddess made a video praising the Night Stalker Richard Ramirez. It was a joke about him throwing her one of these weird parties that freaks or Satanists and whatnot Night would throw, where someone gets like a snuff film type thing. Someone gets murdered at the end of it, and Belle getting scared and running off. It was just kind of a cutesy, obviously fake storyline based on something real. He admires the guy. That's the kind of party he'd probably want to throw. He's certainly said plenty of those kinds of things online about what he thinks is fun and what he thinks human beings should be doing. And I'll tell you, the thing about parody, someone might not understand and say, well, but there was no Night Stalker party. You can't do that. Well, you can. Like Jerry Falwell, for example, a lot of this, law regarding parody and satire, that landmark case, Larry Flint and him, where he said that Jerry Falwell, they made an ad where he had sex with his mom in an outhouse, was the joke. And obviously he didn't. So that went back and forth for a long time. And they said, with parody, you can make up fake storylines to illustrate a point. So the point being that Jerry Falwell, like a lot of those kind of people, is probably a very amoral shitbag, but the very kind of person that would maybe be banging his mom. But he really didn't bang his mom, and everybody knows that. They know that it's satire. So this is similar, only this is way less satire than that. So anyways, I ain't got no dogs, I ain't got no soul. Well, we haven't seen their dogs, and that's the thing about that. If the dogs are still around, I still haven't seen them. So this is a speculative thing where Belle's looking for her dogs. Ain't got no soul. Can't even prove that a soul exists. So how is that me saying something wrong? But if one does, I don't see you having one. So I maintain that. Were you a victim of Goat Boy and want help and want to help? So this was kind of done like those lawyer ads. Hey, were you a victim of thus and such, and do you want help with something? But this was not satire at all. This was serious. He has run several scams to raise money where he did not use the money for what he said he was doing. Many people have made videos about that. They're all truthful. And I was putting out some legal things that we could do about it. And I put something together, and I did send something about it. But I wasn't a victim. And people who are actual victims of a scam could do a lot to him, legal things towards him that would actually help get him offline. So this was to encourage people to do that. The whole reason for me starting the channel was not so much to be entertaining or anything, although I thought it would be kind of funny. It was to do that to get attention on the things that I wanted to say. So if you build a little audience and you can do some cutesy videos, even halfway good, and get a little attention, you can then also talk about serious stuff. So now we have this one. What's this one? Semi-exciting news. That was when YouTube wrote me back in what seemed like a non-bot form at first. There was absolutely nothing defamatory in that video or untruthful. Wasn't even a parody. Lotus has the sads, tells YouTube Popo. It was back when I first had a video restricted, and they were doing something similar to James Uganda at the same time, and the videos were about him, so it was speculating that it was him doing it. And that could be incorrect, but it's parody. So it was, and I said within the framework of the video that it's speculative, that he's probably the one complaining. What's wrong with that? Primal Bell explains a real natural woman's purpose. Just my parody idea of what kind of a woman she is and what she's all about. And unfortunately, there's a lot of cases like this. This seems super unique because it's so weird and everything, but there are a lot of people like her in the world. They didn't throw away the mold, unfortunately, and it is a mold because she's had a lot of surgery done. Want to call that defamation too? Because we have pictures of your old face. They need to know we see. Nothing parody even in that. That was about the entities that could do something about them needing to know. We see what they're doing and what they're not doing, more importantly. Wanted and may reside in Kazakhstan. There was a short video made, and I put it in Kazakhstani language, showing them and showing the warrant and talking about that they're wanted, hoping somebody might happen. And back then I only had I don't even have that many subscribers now, but I only had 100 and something subscribers. And I thought, if somebody sees this inadvertently and then sees them or knows where they are, that's why you make content like that. You won't even escape criticism, Goddess. That was a more serious video. I have no problem with that video, I'm sure. I've never done anything that I thought was incorrect towards them whatsoever. Notice the welfare queen. They were making all kinds of nasty comments, lots of the stock accounts that you can speculate are him and or our fanboys and whatnot about Luna, and even people we know who they are, like Kathy. All these comments people have made about her when she's in hiding, having to go from place to place, and horribly injured. They're characterizing her this way. When in reality, as I said before, Votus, if left up to his own devices to use skills that he has to make money, he couldn't do it. And that would include YouTube. There's nothing wrong with making money on YouTube if you're using something akin to talent or knowledge. He simply repackages old ideas and then mixes them with horrible garbage to maintain a very sick, in my opinion, and I'm once again legally allowed to have one, fan base. Now, what's this crap? Getaway driver, fugitive model. Getaway driver, we've never known for sure, but she has been accused of that. And they said that a high Dutch official is the one who accused her of that. We haven't seen all the evidence, so that's speculative. My videos have some speculative things in them, so that's a funny title. Once again, it's part of satire and parody. She is a wanted fugitive, in fact, model, alleged model. I've seen pictures of her supposedly modeling. But that's the most defamatory one because she said she's 5'6", and she's pretty short for a model. She's not that attractive for a model, even redone. So that might be defamation. Bella explains how a jealous brother with still survives. Yeah, pretty much not even parody. Gareth wants to bite you. That's about the bite model for cults, and that's about it's a parody thing where it's Belle, but Belle wouldn't have a thought like that in her life. But he also talked about biting people in real life, even forget the bite model. He talked about in a fight biting people more than once. He's a real sick guy. They say people that will bite you are the craziest people on earth, by the way. So let's just throw that out there. But BITE stands for behavior control, information control, thought control, and emotional control, which is what people who are messing with you want to have over you. I maintain everything in that video is being something that I think about him and people like him. I do declare you are no Belle, Marina Abdullah. You are really not. Becoming Primal Belle is hilarious because, like, when I think about my aunt is like a socialite and she's a millionaire and she is really into manners. That woman, if you were to even chew gum in her presence, she would think you were scum of the earth. So, yeah, you calling yourself a Belle. People from the South who know what that is are guffawing, laughing, and definitely not thinking it's defamation for me to say you're not one. Primal Belle wants to sue little parody idiot. Interesting that that's one of the ones you complain about, and yet you've got doing your little defamation complaints against me. So this was back a joke back when I was having some restrictions placed on videos, and it was just an idea of what it would be like if Belle found my videos and what she would say about them. And then I was actually doing that because I was looking up people were accusing us of things, myself and other people. So it was me showing law, showing in which ways what we're doing, you would have no angle to come at people over this. They were doing it to Luna really bad at that time too, 2 months ago. So it was all about that. And now they want this blocked in the Netherlands, and they're really hot on shutting people up in the Netherlands because maybe people in the Netherlands will see some of these releases in media about this trial and go looking online and find this stuff and watch it. So even though my videos aren't that great, they look like a 10-year-old made them with their feet. They have a lot of information in them, and that's why you're doing this. So I will respond to every single one of these things, which is not how I wanted to spend my time. I'm working on some other stuff, and I wanted to kind of keep up with this as the trial goes on. I spent those 2 months in summer trying to do as much as I could. So all the hard work, getting everything together and all the legal ins and outs has been done over that period of time. So anything else can just build off of that, and it won't be as hard work. So now you've given me like 17 things to answer, which I really don't appreciate. It pisses me off. It's all wrong and can easily be answered. But I'll do that, and then I'll show what I did. And the only good to come out of it would be that I can get that information about you guys in their face again. Alrighty, we'll do that, and then I'll just show that in a short video later because this is, I only want to do so much related to Goat Boy. My main thing is I want to shut their funding down and I want to stop them from harming other people. That's it. This is not a lifelong character. I'd be fine with you getting arrested and then Primal Belle can just kind of just sit there and people can watch that if they ever want to, but that will be the end of that kind of content for a while. So maybe forever. But unfortunately, I don't think they're going to lock you up forever. They should. But anyway, that's the goal, is to get you guys stopped, and then those two children can at least grow up. Part of their childhoods can be normal, maybe. Alrighty. Talk to people later. Bye bye.